African news updates on top accolade news. The headlines: Gabon holds crucial presidential election. African nations respond to U.S. tariffs with bold measures. U.S.-sponsored education initiative in Malawi abruptly halted. Algeria closes airspace to Mali. In politics, Gabon holds crucial presidential election. Gabon is holding a pivotal presidential election this Saturday, marking the first since the 2023 coup that ended the Bongo family 56-year reign. Military leader Brice Oligui Nguema, who took power in August 2023, is seeking to solidify his control by winning the election, despite initially promising to return the country to civilian rule. His main challenger is the former Prime Minister under Ali Bongo, who is trying to distance himself from the fallen regime. While Nguema is the favorite, his hold on power is reinforced by loyalists in key institutions. Many Gabonese hope the election will bring greater transparency and improvement in education, health and infrastructure as the country grapples with economic challenges, including a heavy reliance on declining oil production. Shifting focus to economy, African nations respond to U.S. tariff with bold measures. U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff policy has sent shockwave through global markets, prompting African nations to adopt unique strategies to mitigate the economic fallout. Zimbabwe has responded by suspending all tariffs on U.S. imports to boost trade, while Lesotho faces a daunting 50% reciprocal tariff that threatens its textile export sector. South Africa, meanwhile, is seeking exemptions and favorable trade agreements, while Madagascar struggles with a 47% tariff on its key exports. In Nigeria, there is a renewed focus on enhancing intra-African trade through the African Continental Free Trade Area, a shift that could reshape the continent's economic future. As countries navigate these challenging trade dynamics, the focus is shifting to diversification and regional cooperation to build more resilient economies. Moving to international relations, U.S.-sponsored education initiative in Malawi abruptly halted. A major setback has hit Malawi's higher education system as the U.S. government, through U.S. aid, abruptly shut down a $17 million initiative aimed at boosting science and innovation in the country. The program, which supported several universities, including the Malawi University of Science and Technology, had been focused on advancing STEM education and fostering research in areas like conservation and innovation. However, following a decision to terminate the project in February, many students have lost vital scholarships, and the universities are now forced to cover the cost of ongoing initiatives themselves. The freeze comes as part of a broader 90-day foreign aid suspension ordered by U.S. President Donald Trump, leaving Malawi's government scrambling for alternative funding sources to continue supporting its students and research programs. In conflict, Algeria closes airspace to Mali. Tensions between Algeria and Mali have reached a boiling point, with Algeria closing its airspace to all flights to and from Mali after a dispute over the downing of a drone. Mali accused Algeria of sponsoring terrorism, claiming that the drone that was shot down near their shared border was part of a mission to neutralize a terrorist group. Algeria, on the other hand, defended its action, insisting that the drone violated its airspace and had to be shut down. The incident had led to the recall of ambassadors from both sides, as well as the withdrawal of Mali from a regional security group involving Algeria. With both nations trading accusations, this diplomatic standoff continues to escalate, threatening further instability in the Sahel region. You are watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Insecurity. 5 Kenyan officials freed after kidnapping by Al-Shabaab. 5 local officials who were kidnapped 2 months ago have been released. The officials who were taken by suspected Al-Shabaab militants near the Somali border are now in the hands of Kenyan authorities. The kidnapping, which occurred in February, sparked fears of cross-border violence, as the militants are believed to have taken the officials into Somalia. The Interior Minister confirmed the safe return, crediting collaboration with local communities and the county government of Mandera for the successful resolution. Though the minister did not explicitly confirm Al-Shabaab's involvement, the abduction has been linked to the group, who has waged a long-standing insurgency in Somalia. The chiefs are expected to return home soon, bringing an end to the 2-month ordeal. Moving to disaster, Kinshasa hit by deadly floods. At least 33 people have been killed after torrential rains and severe flooding hit Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, over the weekend. Desperate residents are scrambling for safety, with many wading through flood waters or using makeshift canoes to escape. Nearly half of the city's 26 districts have been affected, particularly the poorest neighborhoods on the outskirts. President Felix Tshisekedi has vowed government support and convened the crisis meeting, but anger is rising among locals who accuse authorities of slow and inadequate responses. Flooding has also caused widespread water shortages, and the city's key roads have become impassable. With more heavy rains expected, the situation in Kinshasa remains dire. In entertainment, Mali mourns the loss of Amadou Bagayoko. Mali is mourning the loss of Amadou Bagayoko, the celebrated guitarist and half of the renowned musical duo Amadou and Mariam, who passed away at the age of 70 in Bamako. Thousands of mourners, including fellow musicians, gathered for the emotional funeral service. Amadou and Mariam achieved global fame with their fusion of West African rhythms and rock influences, and their 2004 album remains a defining work in African music. Now in sports, Angola to face Egypt in 2025 U-17 World Cup qualifier playoff. Angola will take on Egypt this Saturday in a crucial playoff for a spot in the 2025 FIFA U-17 World Cup. Despite finishing third in their group at the Total Energies CAF U-17 Africa Cup of Nations, Angola can still secure a place in Qatar with a win over Egypt. In their final Group D match, Angola dominated the Central African Republic with a 6-1 victory. Though they did not make it to the quarterfinals, the result has given them a boost as they prepare for the playoff against Egypt, who were recently defeated 4-3 by South Africa in an exciting Group B match. That concludes our African news updates for today. Stay tuned for more African news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojarumi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.